Chris.
Johnny Stash.
Today we're looking at Hydron.
He's the March figure for the Motu line 2014. He's from the New Adventures.
Which was the He-Man in space
He-Man
thing
in space.
that nobody knew existed.
He-Man in space, but yet he's got scuba gear on.
So he's a scuba guy.
You know, I've watched a little bit of this on YouTube in the past couple months. Maybe like the first 12 episodes, and that's all I could stomach, really.
I'm actually kind of a fan of the show. I like it. I actually had a lot of the toys way back in the day that I didn't even know were He-Man toys. So, I had Flipshot. I might have had him. I'm not really sure. I had them. Didn't know they were He-Man toys until he actually told me, yep, that thing you have over there.
That's a He-Man toy.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's not. And then it ended up being a He-Man toy.
The funny thing is, like, you know, I watched the first dozen episodes. He's got this scuba gear on, alright? I seen him in water one time, and all it was...
First episode. Huh?
It was because he fell in a puddle. He fell in a fucking...
A lake.
A puddle of water. But yet, he's wearing fucking scuba gear in space. Is that reason, like, number 14 of why New Adventures sucks? I'm sorry if you like New Adventures.
Suck.
You know what? He-Man is He-Man. We all accept all of He-Man, but this is kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the He-Man
Yeah, but
universe.
their figures are been awesome consistently.
Oh yeah, well, you talking about the classic line?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Well, yeah, they're spectacular. It's a great figure. It's a great figure. I give it that. Even the vintage figures, I would like to own. I would like to own all the vintage figures. But when you take a vintage New Adventures with a vintage,
it's like G.I. Joe almost. They almost look like G.I. Joe.
You know, there's no comparison. It's like comparing the two vintage series figures, it's poo.
When did the show come out?
This one?
90s? Early 90s? 89?
Between 89 and 91.
Yeah. So,
probably 89. Probably close to 89. I'm sure there's some nerd out there. It's like, it was 1990, but, you know.
July of...
Comment.
Leave a comment. So anyway, we're going to get right into the box. Show you what it looks like in the box, and we'll jump right into the figure.
Right up into it. What? Okay, here we go. As we're getting used to the non-white mailer, this is the cardboard flavor mailer.
Flavor.
Yeah, I can imagine that tastes like cardboard.
Tastes different.
I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it does.
You don't taste the wax. And we're gonna get in there, whip it out. Wata! And here we have the it's a Galactic Protector Hydron from the New Adventures of He-Man.
Pretty much what we're used to by now.
Yeah, it's the normal packaging that we're always been seeing lately. And on the back here, it has
some of the Space Mutants.
Yeah, all New Adventures toys. We got there's
Galactic Protectors.
Galactic Protector. There's He-Man. There's I'm sure there's Flipshot, or how they have to call him, Icarus.
Icarus. Yeah.
But you might be used to Icarus, but if you actually watch some of the New Adventures, his name is Flipshot. Why they can't call him Flipshot?
Copyright.
Yeah, I know it's a copyright, but what is the copyright?
Nerf.
Nerf has Flipshot? Fuck Nerf. Never buy anything from Nerf. Don't buy anything Nerf for your kids.
Yeah, but Nerf owns a gun that
buy them a real football, because that's what real men do.
Yeah, it's the box. So
and there's
whatever.
His little bio for him.
This is real name.
He has. Does he have a real name?
Yeah.
Courageous Leader. Oh. Wow, that's worse than Hydron. Daniel Ripper Jr. He might as well be the third. But
why Junior now? That doesn't even make sense.
I bet.
Are they gonna make a toy of his dad? Did he wear a scuba suit too? He's Scuba Steve.
His dad. No, his dad has to be Daniel Ripper. The first.
That's right. Yeah, never mind.
But
his code name's Scuba Steve.
I bet they call him Junior when he's outside of his costume, or JR. Like on Dallas, they might call him JR.
None of our viewers are old enough to know what Dallas is.
If they're collecting He-Man, they know what Dallas is.
So anyway, we're gonna jump right into the show to articulation.
Yeah, we're gonna just rip this open and talk about this toy. Psych.
We'll be right back. So, Hydron.
out of the package. Run through his articulation really quick. He's got the normal shoulder. Swivels there. Elbow. Wrist. Cuts. He's got a kind of an ab crunch. He's got pretty good range.
That's not bad for
it's actually not
for
bad.
having that chest
piece
piece
on it. He's got swivel there, swivel there, and
does the splits.
Pretty good split. So you can sit down pretty good. Little crotch piece kind of goes under. It's a little bit different than
He's got a cod piece.
Yeah, it's kind of different from the loincloth we get. So you get that.
Does he? Oh, he's got a
shin.
boot cut.
But none of this. You ain't moving his ankles much. You're getting about that much.
There's not much you can do with a flipper.
Yes, there's not. So I mean, pretty standard for your He-Man articulation. Now comes the problems. This chest piece is huge. It doesn't mess up his crunch too much, but you can't put his arms all the way down. And actually, if you squeeze some of this in, it actually looks a whole lot better. So there's a lot of room. This thing could have been a lot tighter. And actually, if you look at some of this, you can see all the extra room that's in it. It's got the tabs that are on the side still. So yeah, all this could have been tighter, not to make him look so bulky. All this is removable too, so take his little thing off. It's got a little swivel on both sides of that. Then the dome comes off pretty easily. Got two tabs front and back, and it's got a tab in the front that this thing hooks up to. And that's kind of the only way you can move his head too. You gotta take that thing off every single time. Now all this is all really soft plastic. It's got a tab hole there, and a tab hole in the front that these two go into. Mine came with all this collapse by this tab was pushed through all that. And as you can see, if you don't, in the factory they just kind of pushed it down in there. And it pushed all this down. This tab wasn't really in there, so it's got a kind of indentation on it. Doesn't really matter, this covers it up, man, but it's kind of worth noting. This chest piece does come off, and as you can notice, there's two different colors. This is kind of like a teal, I guess that's the color for it. I'm not an interior decorator, I can tell you. And it's a little bit different than his arms. And the original toy was like that too, so.
Yeah, because if I wore a superhero suit, it'd be teal.
Teal and blue? Why not?
Yeah, and underwater.
He blends in. He can kind of swim. Paint on this, not the greatest. Any of the silver paint kind of bleeds into the teal. Some of this stuff isn't painted. Around his, he's got a knife which isn't removable. It's pretty sloppy. Some places it's got silver that goes all the way around, kind of sloppy. Now the head is kind of where my problem, another one of my problems was, I wish this was removable and you can kind of see his face. Dome's on that most of the time anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Now you do have this, I was calling it a gun, but it's not a gun. It's some kind of slashing trident, what is a 4 to 5 dent?
It's a spear gun.
A spear gun.
It could be.
It's more of a slashing weapon.
You can catch him amberjack with it.
Yeah, I guess so. But that all comes out. And really cool thing, you got this little extra knob that's on it. And that goes through his belt loop that he's got there. And it doesn't look that good, but that's where it goes. As you go down to his legs, one of the cool things about this figure is his boots. He's got these really cool fins on the side. And flippers. The flippers look really cool, not really, I don't know, functional for a spaceman that swims in space, but all this is, and I think this might be all new sculpt too. All this whole entire boot. And he's got a pretty good range of motion, other than his ankle. And the paint's pretty sloppy. You got some red paint that's a little bit everywhere. Silver paint in the back, that's no silver paint around it. That's pretty much Hydron from head to toe. So that's Hydron out of the box. What do you think about the figure?
About the figure?
About the figure, not the character.
I like the figure. There's a lot of original sculpt on it. You know, you got, like you were saying, the flippers, even the fins on the side. Once you...
It's actually going to be a new leg, too, because of the knife there.
The
and
knife.
everything. Yeah.
Once you put the spear gun in how it's supposed to go, it kind of does look cool. I like it. I wish there was real spear guns with this, like this, that you can actually go spear fishing with. No, he has this removable piece. That's pretty cool. He has this little accessory. That's cool. Yeah, you said that this was a little bulky. But you know what?
Bulky.
Most of these Motu toys,
Can't put the arms down.
you know,
anyway.
they're kind of bulky. You know,
guys.
we're just happy. You know,
In the 80s, everybody was a bodybuilder. So
it fits, even though you know they can't do these awesome contorting things.
or swim
They're in space.
in space.
It's reminiscent of the the vintage toys to where you just had, they were like,
That's pretty much all they could do.
so they have all this articulation, but yet they still had this essence of right there. So yeah, it's cool.
Personally, I like it. I like it a lot. I love the weird characters, and he's a he's a scuba guy in space. I mean, you can't get much weirder than that. And I love that about He-Man. It has a little bit of everything. Rio Blast. He's a cowboy. I mean, that's weird things that are in He-Man that I love. So he's right there up there. Not my favorite. One of my favorite figures.
It's a cool toy.
It's a cool toy.
It's a cool toy from New Adventures of He-Man,
which I like. So
I mean, as far as like the New Adventures toys that have been put out already, he's the most eccentric. Optics are a heavy hitter. He's kind of popular. He goes for a lot of money on eBay.
Which I had that toy too. Yeah.
But yet, looking at him compared to like someone like Karate's kind of bland meat and potatoes, and he's eye popping. So it's a good figure to have.
And he does stand out on the shelf a lot too. So good or bad.
Good or bad.
Sold out too.
Did
on
it?
Maddie, yeah.
New Adventures,
which is kind of crazy.
out?
Yeah.
Hey, I guess people are into Scuba Steve.
So that's our review of Hydron. Check back in a few days. We'll probably have the unnamed one up.
Roger.
Watch the last videos, you'll understand. Or watch the next one, you'll understand. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Like all our videos. Give us a big thumbs up. Like our Facebook. Follow us on Twitter.
Tweet these nuts, biatch.
Follow everybody on SomewhatNerdy Family Facebook pages. We'll have links to everything in below. Roz's Midnight Macabre.
Go tell him.
There's a movie
that he hasn't seen. Go ask him what he hasn't seen. Just ask him.
He has
Don't tell him.
a site
Yeah.
for horror movies,
And he hasn't seen this
but
movie.
has never seen this horror movie.
Let's go ask him what the movie is.
Go ask him what it is. Tell him to fucking watch it.
Durf's Domain, Critters, Social Virus, Ben's Star Wars page, and Job's Star Wars page. Follow all those people. Got the links to everything in below. And we'll see you next time.
Good journey.
Stop looking at me, Swan. Y'all take it easy.